Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. It is Erica with Redheaded Princess Designs and Holy Rustic. And I have our Wagon Club box for the month of April. Today is the 15th, which means that our club boxes all start shipping out today. So we're going to unbox this month's club box together and see what's inside. So our Wagon Club is a great way to have some seasonal decor every month that's exclusive to the club and to be able to change out your decor. Super simple, super easy, and it's a great way to spend, 30, 45 minutes to yourself every month as well. I think sometimes we have a hard time taking time for ourselves, and it's a great way to just take a little bit of time for yourself and create something cute to put in your home. So we've got our Wagon Club box here. I actually need to grab my wagon, which is over here. So let me do that really quickly. I have last month's wagon here with our Easter stuff inside. And this month we have a super fun and colorful theme for you. These curtains are casting a weird light on my face, which I need to fix, but that's okay. We're gonna roll with it. All right, so let's switch this camera around and get started. If you come in, say hey, let me know how your week is going. Let me know how your weekend was. So inside your Wagon Club box, you're going to get your package with your pieces. You're gonna get a simple instruction sheet with a color photo. And you're going to get your bag with your paint and your glue and your makeup sponge. And we'll show you how to do that. Each Wagon Club comes with a 20% off coupon that you can use that month on any of our wagon items on the website. And I forgot to turn my notifications off. So let's see if I can do this without messing everything up. I got a new phone and I don't really know how to work it yet. Okay, whoop, did I do it? Do not disturb. If I don't turn this on and it rings, then it will stop everything. Okay, that's good now. Okay, so let's open this up. See how many more times I can say okay. It's all opened up here. So if you're a member of the Wagon Club, let me know in the comments if you're excited for this month's kit. I went with a holiday that a lot of us probably don't decorate for. And I thought it would be just something fun. There's not a lot going on in May. There's Mother's Day. And we did a Mother's Day kit last year. So I didn't want to do another Mother's Day kit. So I know Mother's Day can be a hard holiday for some people. So I thought we'd go with something fun and colorful this year. All right, let's get started. I'm going to start with the sign that goes on the front of our wagon, and I'm going to base coat this in white. This is going to say Fiesta. While we're working, I want to remind you, our Tier Tray Club and our Wagon Club are both open. You can snag one of those boxes if you like. If you sign up this month, you will get this month's box. So you're going to get this Cinco de Mayo kit right here if you sign up by the end of the month. And then it's a reoccurring charge every single month. You can cancel at any time. There's no long-term commitment. So you can cancel whenever you want. In addition, our brand new this month DIY kit of the month. It needs a better name. That's a long name. Maybe y'all can help me find a better name for it. DIY kit of the month club also opened up, and those boxes will also start shipping out this week. We've had a lot of people already join, which I'm so excited for and so thankful for. You have no idea how much that means to me. So the first box will be shipping out. And I'm going to tell you right now that next month, that price is going to go up. So if you want in at the cheapest price that it will ever be, now is your chance to join. And if you join now at the low price, it's $30 right now. If you join now at the lower price, your price won't go up unless you cancel. Okay, if you cancel and come back, then when you come back, you have to pay whatever price it is at that current moment. I'm also considering probably raising the price of the Tray Club and the Wagon Club, just because we haven't done that in a long time. And we all know cost of everything is going up. Shipping costs have gone up immensely. So I think it may be time to raise those as well. And so if those prices do go up and you're a member of the club, you pay whatever price you paid when you signed up. Your price does not go up unless you cancel and then try to come back. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. The Wagon Club comes with your whole kit for the wagon for the month. Each one is specific to exclusive is the word I was looking for. They're exclusive. So you can't buy these kits on our website as standalone kits. You're also going to get that 20% off discount that you can use on any of the items in our store. So for the Wagon Club, it's any of the items in the wagon category. So if you want to grab a different wagon insert, or maybe you want to grab a new wagon, or you want to grab a shelf, we have a little shelf that you can put these on. Any of those things would be included in that coupon, and you can use that coupon all month long when you get your wagon. What I have done is I've started making the coupon good until the 15th of the next month, which is when those wagons, those club boxes should start shipping out by. And the reason why I did that is because depending upon when your payment drafts, that depends upon when you get your wagon. So if you sign up on the 30th, your payment won't draft until the 30th again the next month. And so your wagon won't ship out until after the 30th when your payment has drafted. So it'll give you time to use that coupon if you want. All right. I was just giving these another coat of white there. I don't think I've rinsed out the water in these brushes for a minute, and so it was looking a little dirty from all that paint. Okay. And I went ahead and did the larger side. This is going to say Cinco de Mayo on it. I went ahead and base coated that in white as well. So we have two signs that need to be white. The one that goes on the front of the wagon and the larger of the signs that goes inside the wagon. Don't forget, these videos will be available on YouTube for replay. So if you're not ready to paint your wagon yet, which probably not because they're not shipping out until today, you can always go back and watch this on our YouTube channel. All right, these are our little maracas, and we're going to paint these with this yellow. Lots of bright, fun colors in this month's boxes. I love it. I'm going to pick up a little bit of white with my yellow. So yellow tends to be very translucent or transparent. It doesn't have a lot of base to it. So I like to add just a smidge of white to my first coat. That way, when I put the second coat on, there is something for it to grab on, and I don't see all that, that wood color underneath. So we'll give these two coats, but I'm adding a little bit of white into the first coat. And I am using my makeup sponge to paint with. So you get one of these in every kit that we have. I always use the rectangle end to paint. You just need a little bit of paint on there. You don't want very much. And then I just dab straight up and down, tap, tap, tap with that sponge. And you get a nice little coverage on there. Always remember, it's better to do thin coats, multiple thin coats, instead of trying to put all the paint on there at one time. Because what happens when we try to put all the paint on there at one time is it ends up just being messy and the paint just goes everywhere. And we don't want that. We want this to look cute. So, all right, I think, what else do we need to do yellow? Oh, the top of our sombrero is yellow. So here's our sombrero. I'm going to come across this way and just paint the top of this with yellow. All right, and we'll give all that a quick dry, and then we'll come back and give it another coat. Not loving this yellow that I pulled out, so let me grab something that's a little more golden. Looks like in the picture, we used more of a golden yellow and not this bright neon yellow. So let's see. What do we have? Might be able to get away with this. This is says it's a mango, but we might mix this a little bit. Maybe we'll mix a little. I didn't bring the paint kit in here from the other room that we are sending out with these, and maybe I should have because I'm not sure what color that was, but I don't think it's one I have on my wall over here. Okay, I like that color better. All right, so there's the top of our sombrero. Let's give these maracas a second coat. So not adding any more white into this second coat. I did add a little bit of this mango-y orangey yellow into it because I just wanted to tone that yellow down just a little bit. I was looking a little neon, which was not what I was going for. All right, we've got our little baby sombrero. And one piece of our little banner here is yellow. Okay, is that all my yellow things? Except for the middle of our words, which I'm going to show you how to do those. Okay, let's clip this sponge. So you can reuse these sponge over and over. I just clipped the end with a pair of scissors and you can keep using them. Let's grab our blue. I'm going to grab my brighter blue and we're going to do our Cinco. And the little piece for our cactus. And the little pieces for our maracas. If it's overwhelming to paint everything kind of all at once like this, you could also pull out each individual piece and do, you know, just this sign and then just the maracas and then just the sombrero, rather than trying to paint all the blue things all at once. I go back and forth and I do both. I guess depending upon how well my brain is working that day, I don't know. But you do what works best for you. So if this is overwhelming, trying to figure out where all these little pieces go, just kind of match them up. It's like a puzzle. Match them up and then pull out, you know, just the fiesta sign and paint that. And then come back and do just the sombrero. And that way it's a little bit easier to manage and know which pieces go where. I like to do it this way, where I'm painting like all the blue pieces and then all the yellow pieces when I have lots of colors, because then I can use this sponge effectively, I feel like, and I don't have to keep like going back and forth. But you certainly don't have to do that. You can do one sign, one piece at a time. That way you don't get overwhelmed. Sometimes that's the better way to do it. If you're having a hard time figuring out where pieces go or what goes where. All right, and I did the little blue on the end of that banner. I think that is all of the light blue pieces. This is the sign that our little cactus is going to sit on, so we're going to do it in the dark blue. And since we have the sponge, I could definitely paint this with a paintbrush because it's pretty big. But since I have the blue and I have this sponge, we're just going to go ahead and paint it up. And I'm going to use my darker blue for this. And since it's so big, I am kind of brushing with the sponge rather than tapping. Just kind of tapping around the edges and brushing in the middle. It's going to need 2 coats. So we're going to dry that. And then it looks like there is a dark blue piece on our sombrero as well. Looks like it's this piece here. You can always change these colors up, make it your own. If you don't like the colors that are in the picture, do your own thing. I love seeing when people do their own thing or put their own spin on things. That is one of my favorite things about teaching classes is even though we're all painting the same thing, and sometimes even we're all using the same colors, everybody kind of has their own style, whether you realize it or not. And it comes out when you're painting. And I just love seeing everybody's own little twist on stuff. That's what makes it fun and unique and makes it yours. Some people are always like, well, mine doesn't look like yours, but it's not mine, it's yours, and it doesn't need to look like mine. So that is okay. Don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone and do something a little different. It is totally okay. All right, I'm going to clip this sponge again. So I'm just taking my scissors and cutting right across there. We'll set that piece to the side. Let's do, maybe we'll do the green next. Debating here. All right, I've got a couple different greens here. I have a brighter, not a brighter, a darker green, which we're going to use for our cacti. And let's see, we're going to do another little section on our banner here. Perfect. Our DE, or Cinco de. We're going to do that in this green. And another thing you may notice is I'm not adding any of the little details like the dots and stuff. I like to do that at the end. So I like to paint everything and then come back and add all the little details. You can do whatever works for you. That's just the way that I like to do it. We're going to save that fiesta. Where does this piece go? Oh, that goes on our cactus. I do believe that goes on our cactus. Okay. So we're going to clip this one more time. Let's grab our orange. And we're going to do our Mayo. So you'll notice that green had pretty good coverage, so I did not have to go back over it. Sometimes you might do a second coat and sometimes you don't have to. It just depends on how the paint is covering. Sometimes it depends upon how you're putting it on with your tools. And sometimes it depends upon the paint. So just use your judgment. If you want it to be a brighter color, then you can always come back and do another coat. Okay, so there's our orange. I'm going to do another coat on that orange because it is pretty light. Anything in that red, yellow, orange family is always going to be probably a little more translucent, a little more transparent. Probably going to need a couple coats. So just kind of be aware of that. Yellow, in my opinion, is the worst. It's my least favorite color to paint with. But, okay, those are red. These are red, 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 red. Okay. But sometimes it just depends upon the brand of paint, too, that you're using. All right, let's start grabbing some red. Now, you'll notice I did not clip my sponge this time, and that's because I'm using a color that's in that same kind of color family. So we went from orange to red, and I know that if the orange shows up underneath of my red, it's going to be okay. The red is probably overpowering the orange, any orange that was left on my sponge. So I am not going to worry about switching that out. We're going to paint the bottom of our sombrero here, and I'm just coming straight across here. There is a piece that's going to go there, so I'm not too worried about that line. We're going to paint the bottom of this sombrero with our red. We need to do our little red pieces for our maracas. Some little triangle pieces. Red tends to have pretty decent coverage, depending upon the brand of paint, because it is just such a bold color. You usually don't have to worry too much about it covering. Gray is a great color to put down underneath of red. Obviously, you wouldn't want to add white to your red because then you're going to get pink. But if you put down a gray base, your red will really pop. So if you have a red that you're having trouble getting a good coverage on, throw a little gray down first, let it dry, and then come back and do your red, and you will see a huge difference in the way that red really covers. All right, there's that. And then we've got one more little piece on our banner here. Paint that little guy up. That looks cute. Okay, let's do a couple little things with our brush here. Just gonna grab a small paintbrush. We need to do the tops of these chili peppers with our green. There is one. And here is the other one. And then I need to do the little mustache with some black, which is the one color I did not get out here. Okay. Just need a dot of black. Perfect. So there's our little mustache. And then the bottom of our cacti, whatever this thing is, pot, we're going to do with brown. A lot of this is covered up with decorations, but we're going to just throw a little brown down here on the bottom. Okay. What's left? Our little sombrero, our baby sombrero needs a little red ribbon around it. There we go. Okay, so we have our fiesta, which we still need to paint. I want to brighten up this cactus a little bit. So I'm going to take a sponge. I'm going to take a little bit of I've got a little bit of neon green over here. So I'm going to take a little bit of that. And I want to just bring that around the edge a little bit. So I loaded my sponge almost as a double sponge. So I've got dark green on one side and bright green on the other. And I'm keeping the dark green towards the middle of the cactus and the lighter green towards the outside edge. And I'm just using that tapping motion, just like we do anytime we're painting with our sponge. And just bringing that in kind of around the edge, just to give this cactus a little more dimension. So look at that. See how that kind of, it's hard to see on the camera, but it does kind of just bring it to life a little bit more. Okay, we've got our fiesta here. And we're going to do a green, yellow, orange, red ombre on this. So we're going to start with our green up at the top. And we're going to just put a line of green right across the top. I'm going to bring it down just a smidge. And then we're going to grab some yellow. I've got a little bit of yellow here on this tiny piece of sponge that I had clipped off. And I'm going to make sure that yellow comes up into my green just a little bit. So it's coming up into the green. And I can come back with the green and kind of soften that line a little if I want. Just kind of play with it so you get it where you like it. And then I need orange. So I'm going to just use this tiny bit of sponge that I have here and pick up a little bit of orange. Now we could go straight from the yellow to the red and we would probably get an orange in the middle, but red tends to overpower all the other colors pretty easily. So I'm going to add just a little bit of orange in here so that I make sure that I get a nice little orange color. And then I'm going to come back with my yellow and just right on where those two colors are meeting, just tapping a little bit more of that yellow. Just so there's a nice soft transition between my yellow and my orange. Okay, and then we're going to take our red. We're going to finish out the bottom of these letters with our red. We're just going to blend that red up into our orange and then come back with our orange and go right over that line where the red and the orange are meeting, just to soften it just a little. I feel like when I did that, I messed up my yellow, so we'll come back in. Sometimes it's just a matter of going back and forth between the colors and really focus on where the colors meet and not the rest of the space. So there's our fiesta. That turned out so cute. Okay, I think we have everything painted. So now we should be good to start gluing. So let's grab our glue. All of your kits are going to include an E6000 glue, a tiny bottle, not this giant bottle. And that is the glue that we love to use on our kits. It holds really well. It has a little bit of a dry time, which is great because it means if I put this piece down and I want to move it just a smidge, I can do that without having to worry that it's glued down automatically, like super glue. So we've got our fiesta, which we're going to add to the sign that goes on the front of our wagon. And then our little chili peppers. And we're going to do one chili pepper and whoop, two chili peppers. That is cute. Okay, we'll add details to that here in just a minute. I'm trying to figure out where to put it so that I can still see the picture. All right, let's do our sombrero. So here is the light blue strip that goes across our sombrero. That's why I said we didn't have to worry about that line where the yellow and the red meet, because that piece was going to cover that up. We have a dark blue piece that's going up towards the top, and I'm just kind of lining it up on the edges here where it's even. and then a little green strip. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put it so that it's even on the edges. Okay, so there's our sombrero. Set you over there. Let's do our maracas. So they have this little red bannery piece that's going on each one. That glue got a little crazy right there. Okay. And I'm just going to line them up on the sides so that they're sitting in a place where they fit all the way across. And then they have a tiny little strip that goes up just a little bit higher than that bannery piece. Okay, there's our maracas. And we're going to do our little cactus. I run this E6000, I run it like it's lipstick. So right up against the edge there, so that I don't have too much glue seeping out from underneath. Kind of center that little cactus on there. And then he gets this little blue piece and an orange piece across the top of his little flower pot. There we go. Woo! Get up there, dude. Perfect. Okay, there's our little cacti. And we have, woo, our Cinco de Mayo sign. So at the top of this longer sign, we're going to put our little banner. Nice, bright, colorful banner right up here at the top. And then we're going to put our Cinco right in the middle here. And then day. And then Mayo down here at the bottom. Right there. So like straight, it's hard to tell when I'm upside down. All right, and then we've got our little baby sombrero. We're going to stick it over here. And our little mustache, we're going to put it on the letter O. Well, just maybe. If he'll stay, there we go. All right, so that's all of our pieces. I'll put the lid back on my glue. And we'll add our little details. So let's start with this sign here. And you can do your details with a paintbrush, or you can do them with a paint pen, whatever you are more comfortable with. It's not cheating if you use a paint pen, okay? Some people are like, that's cheating. It's not cheating. It's using your resources. So use whatever is more comfortable for you. I need to clean up this sign a little bit. I'm going to put just a few little swipes and dots on my letters here. And there's no rules about where to put these. I always say put them wherever makes your heart happy. It doesn't matter. Does not matter. And if this is intimidating, this is one of those things you can leave off. It's not going to make or break your piece if you don't add little details to it. But give it a try because it's just white paint. So worst case scenario, you hate it. You can come back and cover it up with paint. It'll be fine. Everything is fixable. All right, so there is our letters for our Cinco de Mayo. I need to adjust this banner a little bit because I painted it with the sponge. So where the colors transition is not quite as clean as I would like it to be. So I'm just taking a little bit of each one of the colors and just kind of straightening up that edge where they meet. I accidentally got some blue on my white, but it's fine. We're just going to take a little bit of white and go back over it. And it will be okie dokie. Nobody will notice. All right, let's add a few little swipes of white to our little banner here. Maybe a couple dots. Cute. So there is our Cinco de Mayo, one of our bigger signs for this kit. We've got our little cacti here. Another good trick, you can use the bottom of your paintbrush and do little dots. So when you look at the picture of this kit, it has a lot of dots. So if you use the bottom of your brush, you'll get some cute little dots with your brush. Sometimes I like the way they look more when I use the correct end of my brush, because I feel like they look a little more organic and not so perfect. There is beauty in the imperfections. So don't feel like it has to be perfect. There's our little cactus. We're going to do our little maracas. I'm going to add a couple white dots here. And maybe just a swipe of white on our red across the top of my maracas. And then down here at the bottom, we're going to do a red and green stripe on the handle. So it's etched in there for you. You could just use your little bitty paintbrush, just swipe across a little bit of red, and then a smidge of green. There are our maracas. We need to do our bigger sombrero here. So we're going to do a dot of white on our little decorations that are hanging down. I feel like those probably have a name and I don't know what they are. Pom-poms, maybe? They're not really pom-poms. Then I'm going to do some dots on the little banner, the little green and blue pieces we added here. There we go. We'll do a couple little swipes. And a little swipe there. There's our sombrero. See how that white just like, it brings it to life. So don't be intimidated by it because there's no wrong way. And it just really helps kind of draw your eye around and make things look a little more interesting. Do a couple of dots here. If you're local, we do still have space at some of our classes next week. So go ahead and check those out on our website. And then don't forget, if you sign up for the Wagon or Tiered Cray Club this month, you'll get this month's box. So as long as you sign up by the 30th, it really is a great deal. You can't beat it. Honestly, you can't go wrong because it's such a good deal. It's cheaper than any of the other kits on our website, the Wagon and Tiered Tray kits. It's an exclusive kit that gets delivered to your door each month. Plus, you get the 20% off coupon. Plus, we really do try to do these video instructions with you so that you can sit down and watch them and paint together. So if you like the video instructions, more often than not, you're going to find those for the Wagon Club and the Tiered Tray Club on our YouTube and our Facebook page. Whereas if you just buy one of the other kits off of the website, it's not going to come with video instructions. So these kits aren't hard to paint up, but I do know they can be intimidating because there's lots of pieces. So having somebody to guide you through it is helpful. All right, I'm just giving everything a good dry so we can put it in our wagon and I can show you what it looks like. So here's my wagon. Let's move you. There we go. Here's our little wagon. I have my Easter stuff in here. I keep crumpled up brown paper in the bottom. It just helps give it a little more height when you add your pieces on. And then you have 2 little hooks that look like this. These go on the front of your wagon, like so, maybe. There we go. It's a tighter fit. They do go there. Okay, I probably should put, and then they just go inside your little sign to hang on the front. Maybe. These may be older hooks. They may not fit. Well, anyways, this is going to go here on the front of your wagon, like so. Super cute. And then inside your wagon, you can tuck all your little pieces. Sometimes I like to set, sometimes I like to set some on the outside of the wagon as well. Like this one might want to go on the outside of the wagon because it has all the words on it. And that way we can see what it says. So when we set it up, I don't think those hooks go with this. All right. When we set it up, it's going to go like this. Woo. I'm just kind of tuck them in around that brown paper. I might need some more paper in here. And then beside it, I can put my little Cinco de Mayo sign. So how cute is that? That is this month's Wagon Club. We'll be back to do the unboxing and painting for the Tier Tray Club here maybe later this week. We'll see how time goes. But we'll be painting that one up for you guys. Club boxes will start shipping out today. So if your payment has drafted, just be looking for that email that says your box is on the way because they'll start shipping out here this week. I'm waiting on some glue to come in. So I think I have enough to start shipping them, but I don't know how far down the line we're going to get because my glue has been on back order. So as soon as it gets in here, then we'll be able to ship them all out. Everything else is ready. I'm just waiting on glue. So, but go join our Tier Tray and our Wagon Club. Get your cute little wagon. We also have a shelf that you can set stuff in. This just looks so cute just sitting around your house. You can set it almost anywhere, on a shelf, on a mantle, you know, wherever, coffee bar area, just to add a little pop of color and some decor for the season. If you have any questions, let me know. You can drop those in the comments. I'll come back and answer those for you. I hope you're having a fabulous Tuesday. Get out, enjoy the sunshine because it's gorgeous out there. And I will talk to y'all real soon. Bye, y'all.